up, that's true. I think I've covered about everything. I can't think of anything else I really missed. If it is, it's not that important, I guess. But it was fun. We had fun. Oh, one time at the bank, she found a diamond ring on the floor. I think it belonged to Mrs. Wilsey. And I found a roll of quarters behind the thing. And then I found $20 in a trash can, because I had emptied the trash. And like a dummy, the president was there, and I said, "Yeah, I found this in a trash can." And it was the baker's daughter. What was his name? The baker? Doty was her. Here, I shouldn't have said that. He chewed her out royally for that chicken shit $20 bill. You know. She probably lost more than that one day. I thought that was terrible. I would never have done it if I didn't know her. I would have just told her. That was some of the people we met, you know, that's how they were. I'm trying to think, any other characters that I missed that you know of, that I've told you?
Oh, geez, Dave.
Freddie Folsky, you know Freddie Folsky? Okay, you know, people who know him. Well, he's down by the locks one day, and he's catching bluegill. And he's telling these people, don't believe a word he says, he's telling these people how his catfish were breaking his hook, so he had to go to a blacksmith and have bigger hooks and better hooks made. And luckily nobody believed him because they knew him. But that's the kind of guy he was, you know. You don't believe anything he says. You know. Do you, Rich? But it was fun. It was fun. I'm trying to think some of the things we did in the shop. I almost pulled it off one time. Billy Day came in and he gave me $100 bill and wanted change. Just taken my hip boots and took them home. And behind the shop there was about 28 inches of water. If I'd had my hip boots there, I told him I got to go in my safe, and I put my hip boots on, and I walked down and went to the bank and came back and brought him change and let him stand there. But I didn't have my hip boots, and I wasn't going to walk in that water. It's just fun. But he was the kind of guy too, like that. You know, you couldn't believe everything he said either. It's fun to pull it on him once in a while and let him do it to you. Oh, here's another one. Paul Ledwig. You know Paul Ledwig?
Yeah.
Saturday morning, he's getting a haircut. And I'm almost done. This black guy comes in. And and I'm combing Paul's hair, hoping somebody else would come in and I could tell him, you have to have an appointment, and you don't have an appointment. So I had to get Paul out of there. He's getting nervous. Black guy comes in, how are you? Ain't you seen you for a whole year? And I just told him the truth. I said, I'd never seen you before, and I can't cut your hair because I don't know how. But he said, I got a haircut. I said, no, you got a haircut up the street. He went to Chicago barber. Whew. Blood pressure goes. I couldn't do it. I'd make a mess of it. He'd probably kill me. I've tried it a couple times at school. It's not like our hair. It's a different way of doing it. I escaped that one. I think, Shelley, whatever happened to Shelley? You should know some stuff.
I just remember being dropped off at your house a lot.
We
when
babysat
my mom
with
and
Shelley
Dad
a
would
lot.
go on vacation.
Yeah, they would take off and we would babysit with Shelley.
And Dave would take us outside and play hide and go seek with us.
Oh, we went swimming in Tuttle Lake, remember?
Yep, we went to
We went to
Lake
Shelley's
a lot.
house to get her bathing suit. We opened up the garage door and there was a pigeon in there. He'd been locked up for 5 days. So then we go to Tuttle Lake, we go swimming. It was easy babysitting.
I remember going to the movies with you. When
That I
the
don't
movie theater
remember.
was across the street.
That I don't remember, but it probably happened.
It was just David, John, and I.
Mm,
Becky wasn't born yet.
okay.
It's like remember you sitting in the seat. There was a big tiger on the screen. That's all I remember. But
That's what he used to have nightmares about tigers.
oh, that's probably
There's a story about a guy. He went to the psychiatrist and he says, I got monsters under my bed. And the psychiatrist says, well, for $200 a session, I think we'd cure you in about 10 sessions. Make an appointment with a secretary. Well, the guy don't make an appointment. He bumps into the psychiatrist a while back, and the psychiatrist says, how you doing with those monsters? Oh, no problem at all. My bartender cured me. He said, what do you say? Just cut the legs off your bed. So you want to be a bartender, you don't go to a psychiatrist.
Dave, do you want to open it up for questions from the audience?
Yeah, sure.
Does anyone have any questions or stories and things that you would like to share?
I can lie some more.
Ask Dave.
I think I've done about all I can do here.
What did a haircut cost when you used to cut?
When I came here, it was $1.
$1?
And there was 2 other barbers.
There's 3 barbers in Princeton?
I was number 3. So I was young enough I could live on love and lust for a while, so it was okay. Because otherwise we'd have starved to death.
There were actually 4 shops in town here. One-
Not when I came though, but there was only 3. There were 4, yeah. I didn't know the 4th one. But I worked with Tiff. And the crazy thing is, Tiff was a band leader. Him and the brothers, McCormick boys, bunch of drunks, what they were. They had a band. And Tiff was a good man with a razor, really good man with a razor. I wish I'd have wrote it down. See, those days, the apprentice lathered the guy up, and all the barber did was hone his razor and shave him. And the apprentice would have another guy ready, and he'd give the guy a neck shave, and he'd collect. And shaves were like 10 or 15 cents. And he started at 8 o'clock in the morning, and he got done at 8 o'clock at night, and I think he said he made $17 that day. That's a lot of shaves. He didn't get a haircut on a Saturday, because everybody got shaved for church on Sunday. And a fish fry was $0.25. I don't know what beer was, I didn't ask him that. I remember that. But he was a good man with a razor. Give me a shave one time. I don't have much of a beard, but he gave me a shave. About 4 strokes, he was done. I did a lot of shaving in school, and I had a neighbor lived across the street. An old guy, 80-some years old. Every Thursday, I'd take a pot, put a towel in, put hot water in it, go across the street with a razor and instant shaving cream. I'd give him a shave. One day I'll be giving him a shave and he had a stroke. Well, I can't let him fall out of the chair. So I finished the shave and he got better. and I said, Joe, how often does this happen? Oh, 2 or 3 times a week, but I always get better, he says. Now here's the thing. Joe had a diet. This is a diet that you really should remember. He drank 8 big bottles of Peoples, 8 big bottles of 7-Up, and a pint of Corby's every day. He'd go down to the little tavern and buy it. He'd get a few hookers there, and he'd come home. On top of his counter, he had 2 or 3 different kinds of ketchup. And I said, what does one man want with all that ketchup? Or coffee, I think it was coffee. A man's got to have variety, he says. On top of his refrigerator, there's a package of cookies, sandwich cookies. They were open in November, and they were still open in March. Very indiscriminate. And he lived. And they took him to King because they found him, he fell on the floor. Help me to bed. I helped him to bed. And they took him to King. He had diabetes. They took off a leg and he died within 6 months. They took away his diet. Should have left him alone. He'd have killed himself. Yeah, it was fun. It was just fun going to see Joe. Because you never knew what was going to happen. He'd get too hot in the house. He'd open the inner door and leave the outer door shut. Let it cool off. Not turn it down, let it cool off. You know. I did like his diet though. I thought it was a very good idea. My doctor don't think so though. But I thought it was. I don't know any other characters we had. There was a lot of them though.
Was
Maybe-
Carby still?
Carby was my neighbor. Oh, there's a story. Carby lived with his wife and her sister, right next door to me. So Carby talked me into going out to some farmer, picking up the bottom of a cast iron stove, and Carby owned a lot behind him, and plunked it way in the back, and the girls couldn't see it. He was going to smoke fish. Oh my God, I thought hell froze over his wife over. She just chewed my ass up and down. I didn't know it. I didn't know he had a bad heart. You know. Carby was a barber, and he was fast. And Tootie Retkusky was in there one time waiting for a haircut. He got tired of waiting. And he said to the guys, if you let me go first, I'll bet Carby, I think it was $1. He can't cut my hair in 5 minutes. And he did. I don't know what it looked like, but he did. That was Carby. You may be doing better than I did.
My great uncle used to be a blacksmith in,
Yeah, blacksmith shop?
where the,
Mike's?
no, Graham's is.
Okay.
And at noon, he had a little short dinner break. He went to Carby's, threw his money down. He says, you got 5 minutes to give me a haircut, or you don't get paid.
I didn't know the stories, I just know he did it. You
The other
know,
one I heard of somebody, well, it was
Army haircuts start longer than
Saturday
that.
night, and the lights went out when he was half done. The guy left with half a haircut and never came back.
You know, that happened to me. We were in Oshkosh, and this guy came in, and I put a big clipper on his side so I didn't cut it too short, because I know you didn't want it too short. And all of a sudden there's water dripping from the ceiling, and there's fire trucks outside. The place was on fire. He said, maybe we ought to quit.
Yeah.
And we were shut down for a week that time. I guess the fire, they had a fire or something. We had a barber shop and we had a tavern right next door. That was kind of nice, you know. It was good food there.
Dave, you were in some plays that they had in town.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody
gotta
else?
s- you gotta
Anybody
see
else in
'em.
those plays? No?
Who Done It in Beantown, Shot in the Dark, and there's another one. There was 3 of them we made in the 80s. They're local. Now, Mrs. Swed, remember, she was in 1 or 2 of them. Right? At least one. At least one. And did anybody know Harry Treader, who he was?
Yeah.
Okay, Harry Treader was in 2 of them. One, he was a can-can girl. Ugliest can-can girl ever. And the other one, he was Fanny the pink tights. Fanny the fan dancer. With a black wig and a black beard, like, oh God. You gotta see these, because these are, most of these people aren't there anymore. I'm one of the few that are still alive. I mean, Dave Dujinski was a can-can girl. He was on a step most of the time. You know, and Pancho Trenner was a can-can girl. And I says, Pancho, why don't you just put some balloons in that bra? So he did, and so they bounced a little bit. And after the show, all the guys were chasing him with pins. But you gotta see these plays because they're unbelievable, you know.
Where would you hold them then? Where did you actually?
One was at the Catholic school,
Okay,
2 were there, I think, that was at the high school.
okay.
Because the stage was used or something, it wasn't big enough or something. But it was a lot of fun. One was about a Western. And the second one was about Prohibition, I think. I think the third one was about Prohibition too. It was really kind of fun. I have all 3, but I think,
On a video.
yeah, VHS.
Mhm.
My VHS player ain't working. But I think the Historical Society has them too.
Mhm. Okay.
I don't know if the library has it. But you go there, see, with Mrs. Sweat and I, we go there, and we can look at these people because we recognize them. And Vicki Wilgish, in the first play, her and the other girl, they wore high heel shoes, and they made spats for the shoes. They were saloon girls. And they made their own dresses and everything. It was really quite a thing.
There's a picture of them at the Historical
Is it?
Society
Yeah.
on the wall,
Oh, that's from that play?
yeah.
Well, that was the first one we did. I was the dentist. And I get to pull a guy's tooth. So I made a tooth about this big and painted it red and white. So when I pulled it, I could show it to the audience. And then I had a little bottle. And the girls brought him in. He had a toothache. I pulled out the bottle, and I said, "This is going to hurt you more. Hurt me more. It's going to hurt you." And I took a drink, and then I pulled his tooth. The bottle was real. It was supposed to, but the bottle was real. Cigars are real too. We weren't supposed to have them lit, but they were lit too. We weren't actors. We were just doing it. We were bad actors. And yeah, I was considered a bad actor. The last one was about Prohibition. Oh, Morris was
The Undertaker.
gangster. He was the gangster in the last one. And me and a couple other guys were gangsters too. And I saw the video, and in the video, I have a gun, and I pulled it out, and I had a diamond ring on my finger, and it glistened in this thing for a second there. And I had a gun like this. The guy said, "You got to get a bigger one." I still have the pistol, plastic pistol, someplace. It was a lot of fun, and Winecki was in it. For
So
the
you guys
guys.
would have rehearsals and.
Oh yeah,
all
we
this
had
stuff.
rehearsal, and my son was in the first one. And he comes in the bar, and he wants a sarsaparilla, and you know that people got up at you. And the bar got robbed, and he had breakaway pants on with red long underwear underneath we made. The bar got robbed, and the girl said, "Can we have him, Ma?" And he grabbed his pants and ripped his pants off and ripped him out, took him out of the room. I remember that scene. He didn't have to come to many rehearsals because he didn't have any words. He just had to be there. You know. I don't think the first one was really a Western. It was kind of slow, but we had square dancers in the first one, and we didn't have can-can girls. We had bar girls. The second one we had can-can girls, and then we had fan girl. You gotta see it, because if you know the people, it's even funnier.
Hey Dave,
Yeah,
about what years were those things done?
they were in the '80s,
The 80s.
probably
Where was I?
middle '80s,
Yeah.
because I was already. Oh, wait a second, I'll tell you. I went to work in '82. I became a regular in '89, probably about 89, 90, 91, right there, maybe late '80s. I don't remember the year, but it was a lot of fun.
Sounds to me like we ought to have a movie night.
Yes, we should.
That's what I'm proposing at the senior
I'm just
center.
wondering what we should rate this movie.
No, that's what I'm proposing at the senior center. We have a matinee night,
At
or
least
matinee
$10 a
afternoon.
ticket.
There's a lot of great movies. I just saw Bob Hope and Jane Russell and Jane Russell, and Paleface. Brought back memories. My father took me to that 70 years ago. And she's just as good looking then as she was now, you know, or vice versa. She was a snowboarder. None of them are. But there's a lot of great movies, you know. Another one, have you ever seen Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor in Taming of the Shrew? They were married when they made this movie, and all they did is fight when they were married. And in this movie they fight. It's a cute movie, and they're together, and not together. The ladies will like it because it's a chick flick.
Well, Dave, I'm gonna kind of wrap us up here
Yeah,
because it's getting a little late, but I would say, you know, there is a movie called It's a Wonderful Life, but if I had to make a movie about you, I would say It's a Colorful Life.
Oh,
You
yeah.
lived a very colorful life,
we had fun.
and you're very good at telling your.
Still going.
Yeah.
He's still going, yes, he's still going.
I have a lot of stories there with that. I just can't remember them all. Sometimes a word will come up and that'll remind me. Oh, I got something here. Boy,
You know, I really I like David because he's my walking partner. And Louis will say, I says, Louis, unless you learn how to walk with us, you're never gonna hear these things. And yes, he doesn't walk with us, he doesn't hear it. And he says, you always come home happy and laughing. I said, I'm laughing so what I heard.
We
So
have good
it's
times.
great, it's great, it's really, he likes to walk and this is fine.
I don't walk, I stroll. 'Cause walking is, I don't do that no more. I did that for 20 years. I don't do that no more. I just do a little short stroll and try not to trip
Yeah,
over.
but that's good.
She usually gets ahead of me and I just can walk behind.
Well, I have to, with the dog, but he always gets punished.
Dog walks faster than I do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he does. Well, this weekend, I had another dog, and I said to Liz, for crying out loud, the dogs are so small, but they can pull 100 pounds away.
And
I'm
I
not
didn't
kidding
volunteer to
you.
lead one either, cause
No,
he'd
no.
pull me off
Oh,
off
he
my
would.
sticks.
Oh, yeah, he would. Those two were just, and then today, he's all by
Speaking about
himself, he
sticks,
looks everywhere
Where's
if
my
he can
sticks? I
find
don't
a
want it
dog.
all. I've left it, I wanna leave it again. I don't need it, it's just for looks.
All right, well,